People in this country have to get back to work immediately. Today, I'm cataloging some of the economic predictions and indicators for Alberta in 2020, and friends, it is very bad. The economic indicators coming out of Alberta are absolutely disastrous. Look at this, and please keep in mind, these numbers are already a full month out of date, and we're seeing the worst unemployment rates in modern Alberta history. It's here being reported in global news. Alberta's unemployment rate was one of the highest in the country in April, as measures taken to slow the spread of COVID-19 forced many non-essential businesses to close temporarily, devastating the economy. New numbers released by Statistics Canada on Friday showed the jobless rate in the province spiked to 13.4% in April from 8.7% the month before. Only Newfoundland and Labrador at 16% and Quebec at 17% had higher provincial jobless numbers. A total of 243,800 jobs were lost in Alberta in April. For context, there's only 4 million of us in total, young and old. And the worst is yet to come. Now, we might be in the middle of a staged reopening of our economy. And as Albertans, we might be leading the entire country in the way we are opening back up for business. But we are only seeing the tip of the iceberg of the devastation caused by shutting down our entire economy for 2 full months in the middle of the perfect storm of a full-scale international oil price collapse. A new Conference Board of Canada report breaks the bad news, and I rounded up some numbers from a Calgary Sun analysis of that report so that we might truly understand just how bad it is and how bad it's going to get. The national GDP growth is forecast to decline by 4.3% this year. The contraction of Alberta's economy will be almost 3 points higher than the national average at 7% this year. But look at this. The effects are expected to hit hardest in the second quarter when, due to public health regulations aimed at keeping people at home and safe from the virus, the province's unemployment rate will average 17.4%. However, Statistics Canada only counts those who are actively looking for work when calculating unemployment, meaning the real number of jobless Albertans is likely significantly higher. Friends, wait, there's even more bleak news. It's going to take at least a generation for the commercial office space market to recover from all of this. Even before the pandemic, Calgary Economic Development was predicting it could take 15 to 20 years to fill all the vacant office space in Calgary's downtown. Now it appears it could take even longer, said CED President and CEO Mary Morin. So Alberta's unemployment will be approaching 20%, with the real number probably 10% higher. Commercial office space, which is a pretty good gauge of how business is doing in Alberta, is going to be in a full-scale disaster for at least a generation. Alberta's economic contraction could be nearly 2 times as high as the national average. And what's the help? Well, on March 25th, 2020, Finance Minister Bill Morneau promised help for the Canadian oil patch, said it was coming in hours, possibly days. So that was 2 full months ago, and nothing has come by way of help. Instead, we got a 50% higher carbon tax on April 1st. And if Justin Trudeau had his way, this staged reopening of Alberta, or any other province for that matter, wouldn't be happening at all. Look at this in Halifax today. The Canadian economy can't fully relaunch until there's a vaccine, says the Economic Development Minister. We need to find a treatment for this virus, and until then, we will have to keep really following the Public Health Authority's expertise, Minister Melanie Joly told the Sheldon McLeod Show. Those are the public health authorities who didn't close the border in time to stop the spread of the disease into Canada, and who frequently repeated World Health Organization Chinese propaganda verbatim, telling us the virus wasn't spreading person to person, when they knew already that it was spreading person to person? Yeah, that expertise? Yeah, right. Canadian politicians shut in the entire economy to stop the spread of the coronavirus, something they could have stopped by closing the border in time. And now Canadians are dealing with the economic fallout, while Canadian politicians who let the disease spread continue to get their full paychecks. People have to get fully back to work. Exercise caution, protect the vulnerable and the elderly with all the resources that they need. Use new sanitation protocols, but also go back to work. We've heard enough about flattening the curve of the coronavirus. We did that. We did everything that we were asked to do. Now we must flatten the curve of these skyrocketing unemployment rates. To sign our petition calling on the federal, provincial, and municipal governments to open the economy back up, please go to letuswork.ca. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Canadians are cautious. We've been following the rules. We've done everything the politicians have asked us to do. Now it's time to let us get back to work, to save some jobs, to save some businesses, and to stave off the worst of the economic damage coming our way. To sign our petition calling on all levels of government to let people go back to work. It's simple. Please go to letuswork.ca.